Alrighty guys, so I'm Lorna Rosa and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time watching, you should definitely subscribe because I'm on here kicking it to y'all, kicking out the gems, giving y'all the little tools, you know, things that I'm learning as I'm going. Weekly, I upload at least 2 times a week. I'm trying to get to uploading more, but for those of you guys who are creatives, whether you're a reporter, you are a producer, you are a screenwriter, or you're a model, you know, all of those things, like all those titles are titles, but in this industry it's not like any other job industry where, for instance, if you're a dentist, you can pick or choose whether you want to be an entrepreneur. If you are a, I don't know, so if you're an accountant, you can pick and choose whether you want to be an entrepreneur. I'm a TV personality / like digital media personality because everything's going digital, but I also do work with brands in like the fashion space, whether it's modeling or creating, like, you know, authentic content. So I'm just wearing it in my everyday or whatever. In 2019, more than likely, you should be deeming yourself as an entrepreneur too. And here's why I say that, and here is how to function as an entrepreneur, as a creative entrepreneur. So number one, the first reason why you like really want to look at yourself as an entrepreneur in 2019, if you're in any of the creative spaces, particularly if you are a reporter or a host or looking to do any type of like influential stuff via social media. Our time right now, like, being consistent matters, but being consistent, it's like being consistent across the board. So you can be a model and work with 5 different brands, but your brand screams model. So I definitely want you guys to start thinking about, like, you know, what your across the board is. So for instance, for me, I do reporting / like hosting. They're not the same thing, and people use them interchangeably. In this space, it's like you want to have like a base, but you also want to be able to be a little bit of everywhere at all times, but consistently doing the same thing. So for me, like, TMZ is like my job. Like, I work there, I'm there 5 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. So it's pretty hard for me to like do other things. But on my Fridays and my Saturdays off, I try and do other things. Like, I try and like do social media takeovers for red carpets, or maybe I'm doing commentary for another brand, another entertainment brand. So it's like eventually you do want to find things that you repeatedly do consistently to get the message out there and make it a clear, very sharp, very focused message, and then you allow that to grow into other things. For any good entrepreneur who is doing well in business or is on the track to doing well in business understands that you can't jump too fast. Lesson I had to learn, lesson you guys are going to learn, but you cannot jump too fast. Like, you have to understand that, like, most, and it's crazy, I read a lot of like business newsletters and stuff like that. Even though I physically, like, I do have a business, I have a swimsuit line, and it will expand into other things, but physically my biggest business right now is me as a brand. And I'm in a position now where I'm learning and I'm like trying to take it into other things, still staying focused on what it is that I do, like what my talent is. Any good business, when a good business startup knows that you're not really reciprocating like the money from the business, the brand growth, the recognition, at least for like a good 2, maybe 3 years, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but minimum 2 years. Like, most businesses aren't making real money. They're making only money to put back into the business for the first 2 to 3 years. When you think about yourself like that, especially if you're a reporter or entertainment host, it's like when I moved to LA, the first year I was here, I was doing red carpets for EURweb.com. I was on major carpets, I was in LA, I was interviewing major celebrities, I was building my reel essentially in the #1 market for entertainment, for a platform that was notable. It was big enough to get me in these major carpets to sit down with these major celebrities and at these junkets. I mean, it wasn't my end all be all, but it worked. I was doing that for free. So I was basically putting all of my money into myself. I was a startup. I still am essentially a startup, but I was putting all of my money into myself, and I honestly did not start seeing the payoff to that and then everything that I did the following year until now. So it's been a good, like, that was 2016. So it's been a good, like, yeah, like 2 to 3 years. So now, even now though, I'm still like in the beginning stages of like everything. Don't get it twisted. Saying yes or no to certain things. So I feel like when you're new, when you're a new entrepreneur and you're trying to like learn yourself, because to me, being a business owner is like figuring out exactly what you like, what your talent is, what you're passionate about, and being able to take that and like create something and watch it grow to the point where like that becomes your livelihood, like every day, all day, your livelihood. A lot of times in the beginning stages of that, I feel like people, how do I put this, like people get like so hungry for opportunity or so hungry for that thing to just click and for it to just happen, and then you got social media, so you see it happening like fast, or what it looks like as fast to other people, or you broke as hell in the beginning. Like in the beginning, like I said, I was working for free, so I was working other jobs, I was doing as much as I could, but you want that thing to click, and financially you want to be okay. You want people to know your business, you want people to support your business, you want your brand to be growing so instantly that sometimes you'll attach yourself to anything that you think will make that happen. It's the yes versus the no. And what you really have to like start doing and like being super particular about is saying no to things that do not fit your long-term overall goal. So even if it's a short-term goal, it should also line up with the bigger plan. Like what is the message of what you're doing? What is the purpose? Like for me, I don't want to move without intent. So you got to really understand the yes versus the no. When you are trying to make it in TV, reporting, hosting, acting, you're going to take a lot of jobs at first that are going to be really low quality sometimes, very startup. Shoot, you might even start your own like YouTube channel or whatever. But even in that, like really just begin to think about like, yo, how is this going to satisfy my end goal? Like if I'm a business owner and I'm opening up a t-shirt printing shop, like every decision that I make, if my goal is to own the biggest t-shirt printing shop in my city, every decision that I make has to connect somehow with me being the biggest. Whether it's a decision that's going to help me market better to my customers, or make my my product a better quality, or help me save some money, because that's another thing as a business owner. Like help me save some money so that I'm not putting out so much and maybe I'm bringing more back in, and I can finally start seeing some money, because you don't see it in the beginning, trust me, okay? But yeah, everything that you do has to just line up. Like the yes versus the no is so real, and it's a learning lesson. Like I feel like nobody goes right into things all the time knowing what's worth it and what's not. You really start to like find your groove. Like any business owner in the beginning, it's like you have this dream, you have this idea, but you are just figuring it the fuck out. And even later on down the line of business, it's somewhat like that, but like it's not. Like eventually you get to a point where like you got the plan makes sense, you sticking to it, nothing's going to deter you from it, the focus is there, the confidence is there, can't nobody tell you nothing. That's when your yes versus your no gets so strong, because it's tunnel vision. Like, so another thing too that you really have to know as an entrepreneur is like, you don't need 50,000 people when you first begin. Having a team is probably amazing. I wouldn't know because I don't have one yet. I'm working on it. I would love to have an agent. Working on situations right now, because you know things are moving for me. Things are getting to a point where in order to take it to the next step, I need that. Like I need an entertainment lawyer. I need an agent. But this time, say like last year, I wanted an agent. Like, you know, like of course it's the dream. You move to LA, you get an agent, they send you jobs, you book that dream job. I wanted that, but there wasn't much that like I could there wasn't much that an agent could do for me at that time, because I didn't even have the experience that I needed. And not to say that you have to have experience. I know people who, no agent, no experience, walked into casting rooms and booked jobs that changed their lives forever. Everyone's journey is different. But if you're sitting down and you're pouting, you're like, I need an agent, I need an agent, I need a lawyer, I need a publicist, no. I feel like a lot of like young people look at like the celebrities, and like even not the celebrities, like the influencers and stuff on Instagram who are doing it very well, and you try to model your beginning with wherever they are in their middle or their end. Not even their end, because things are always evolving for people, but you try to compare yours to theirs, and they may be here in their journey and you're here. You can't just skip all of this right here. You can't apply the same money and amount of team members you gotta pay, and like all of that. Whatever they got going on over here is completely different than what you'll have going on over here. From what I've learned, and like, you know, where I am right now, I've been wanting to build a team for like the last like 6 months, and people have come in and out of my life that like I'm thinking like maybe they'll be good for this or good for that, and it, you know, some things worked out while they were there and some things just didn't. But I think you got to be ready for that. Like, I know mentally I'm still preparing myself to have to trust people with stuff. Like, my brand, me as my brand, and my career are my babies. I don't have kids. My life has always been centered around like trying to figure this TV thing out, like trying to figure out this acting thing and this hosting thing. To just give that over to somebody is like such a big like stepping stone in life for me. So I'm still preparing myself for that. I know I'm not ready, and maybe that's why it hasn't happened yet. But when it does happen, I'll have things to give to this team so that like it'll make sense. Another thing is you just always have to stay like ready. So what I'm doing right now is I'm updating my reel. So I'm working on some things right now that require me to update my reel. The last time that I updated my reel was 3 months ago, right? This is it right here. It's 3 months ago. This reel is amazing, but with where I'm at today, like right now, versus where my footage was and where I was 3 months ago, I didn't even really notice how big of a difference it was until I got a phone call today, and the call was like, oh yeah, I was on a phone call today discussing something, and they were like, yeah, I might have a person like that you need to work with, shoot me a reel. So I came in here to look at my reel before I sent it, and I looked at it and I was like, it's really good, but I know that like I got better footage now. Like, I don't stumble over my words as much anymore. I'm speaking a lot more fluently on live segments and stuff like that. So you just always got to stay ready. But we got to be out here thinking about ourselves as entrepreneurs and really getting up every day and working at that. And that's a big one that I'll close out with. Any entrepreneur that does not get up every single day, any entrepreneur I know that's successful, they work every single day at what they want to do. Every single day. Barely sleeping at times. Like, I think y'all got it. I'm about to get back to editing my reel right now so I can get this email out the way. But when I went to go edit my reel, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I legit 24/7, unless I'm sleeping, am like really trying to figure this thing out. Like, and I consider myself an entrepreneur. Like, not even just talking about, even before I owned a swimsuit line, I consider myself an entrepreneur, because it's just so much that you put into yourself as a personality when it comes to look, your building your self-confidence, your message, marketing your message to people, connecting with the right brands, connecting with the right opportunities. I'm a business, sis, okay? I'm a trademark. Period. Alright, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments. Let me know what else y'all trying to talk about. I got a lot coming. I got a new camera, as y'all can see. I can actually see myself now, so it's lit. I might record a few videos tonight, but yeah. See you guys in my next video.